Alright. So for those waiting on a Mayakashi video, by the way, so I know there's a few of you would have seen my ban list and seen like, oh, a ban list review and been like, oh look, this dude's doing a Mayakashi video later. I'm gonna subscribe for that. If anyone's wondering where it is, let's see if I can bring up the tab real quick. Is that gonna show? How's it not showing yet? It's been stuck in processing for 2 hours. I've tried uploading and re-uploading it several times, and it's just stuck in processing. I don't know what's going on here. So, people are waiting on that? I don't know. YouTube's not letting me upload it, so that's cool. I love just not having my stuff uploaded on time because YouTube just said no. That's pretty cool. But people that are here for Duel Links content, doesn't matter anyway. Thank you, CB, for the... how many months that was? 21 months? God damn. Sounds like a skill issue. Yeah, you're right. My bad, I guess. My bad. Processing Purgatory. Dude, don't remind me of Purgatory, okay? Purgatrio. I don't need reminders. I keep losing my chat. There it is. Justice for Flu? Hell no. Nobody wants to see that deck succeed. It's also why this stream got pushed back 30 minutes, because I was hoping that it'd be done within that copium of that 30 minutes. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Move this over here now. So I don't have a hissy fit over it. Let's begin. Hell no, I'll begin when I begin. Justice for cross out. Now that's what I'm saying. If we're not gonna ban Max C, at least unleash the cross out. That's 30 minutes. Let me get a coffee. No, no problem, buddy. I got you covered. I'll delay my stream another 30 minutes just for you. But Duel Links is dead game. How is Duel Links going, actually? You know, while we're waiting for more people to join, let's have a look at the let's do a Steam. Let's do a Steam charts real quick. Have a look. How's the old Duel Links going? Are we popping this month? Oh shit! Up plus 1%. Oh shit! We growing. Hey, that's better than being in the negatives, I guess. It's definitely better than being in the negatives. But Master Duel. Oh shit, talk about dead games. Oh fuck. Dead game, god damn. 70,000 players down to 45 this month. Dead game, actual dead game. Just wait till Tier Element comes out. Watch this player number fucking double. I think the player numbers will be when Tier Element releases. 90,000? I set the cross duel player base. I don't think cross duel is something mobile, so sadly I can't look that up on here. Otherwise I would in fact look it up just to flame it. The 1%. Did you finish the review? You haven't started the review yet, mate. The stream's been like live for 7 minutes. Let's slow down a little bit there, right? I can't speedrun a review that quickly. Need to get that watch time up, okay? You need to delay as long as possible so I get the watch time up. Getting 2 live streams in a week? Wait, so wait, when did I stream this week already? I don't even remember. Oh yeah, I did a pack opening, didn't I? Yeah, I did stream. To make half the player base quit. No, the player base jumped drastically when Sprite was released. It's not basically whenever something meta relevant it's released, the player base like spikes. Do you remember a moment of actual silence for cross duel? Yeah, that one's a bit of a rip. That one. Cross duel problem is the whales don't want to send money anymore. No, cross duel's problem is they made it too goddamn expensive from the start. There was no way a game should ever be released where it was harder to obtain the SRs than the ultra rares. That is, like that defeats the purpose of your rarities, Konami. The fact that I had played the game for God knows how many hours And after, like, all that time, I'd only received 3 SRs or some shit, and, like, 17 Ultra Rares. Was like, okay, I'm not playing this game anymore. So, yeah. That was all Konami's fault. That game could have been successful, they just needed to make it actually free-to-play friendly. And I mean, like, really free-to-play friendly, not whatever the hell that was. That was, like, not even, like... They could at least make it Duel Links levels of free-to-play friendly. Maybe not Master Duel levels, but yeah. Reminder to check your card trader for the Solfachord. Pendulum deck? Oh, that was a good one, Harry. So, that was a good one. Alright, let's actually start this review, because chat's getting rowdy. Alright, what are we up to first? First one. Tis Solfachord what? Why is there a T in front of it? This one's got a me in front of it. What? Okay. Pendulum card. Oof. Let's skim over this one real quick. Try to make it so that you guys can actually see it on screen. That'll do. Pendulum effect. Your opponent can activate a spell or trap card or monster effect when your Solfachord Pendulum monster is summoned. Alright, that's pretty cool. Stops things like floodgate trap holes, I guess, and other trap hole stuff, and counter traps and whatever not. Monster effect, quick effect. You can target one effect monster your opponent controls, or if you have an effect an even pendulum scale in your pendulum zone, you can target one face-up spell trap card your opponent controls. This turn, banish it when at least. I'm already bored trying to read this. You can only use the effect of once per turn. Once per turn at the start of the damage step, if this card battles a monster with an equal or higher. Why is this card like a. Why am I reading an essay? Does anyone care for this card? This turn, banish it when it leaves the field. Alright, that's crazy, guys. I assume people want the scale or something. The actual card, I don't really care about. Makes it so that it banishes the thing you're going to be removing? Is that what I'm reading? I mean, the pendulum effect seems kind of good, but that's about it. So I assume it's just a scale. I do keep reading. God damn it. This card, it's silent damage. This card battles a monster with an equal or higher attack than the lowest pendulum scale in your pendulum zone times 300. Destroy that monster. Okay, well, that's cool and all. Let's move on. Alright. And more text so I can get free wins if people are not reading. that is a strat. The first time this face-up card on the field be destroyed by an opponent's card effect, it is not destroyed. Once per turn, you can activate one of these effects. Discard one level 10 monster, draw one card. If the only card in your spell and trap zone, if this is the only card in your spell and trap zone, type one type of monster in your graveyard, shuffle into the deck, then you can set one infinite machine directly from your hand or deck. So this is the first part of that really long process that Time Lords have. And I'm going to be honest, if this is how you play Time Lord, they have absolutely zero chance of being relevant at all. This is like isn't this like some like 3-turn process? These Time Lord cards? It's like 3 turns to get all these out? We're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! We'd have 3 turns, okay? So. There's a skill for these cards? I think there's a skill that lets you, I think you have to have these cards in your deck. The skill is to get so you get a hold of them, right? Yeah, it is a 3-turn process. Yeah, that has no chance of being good. Actually, I don't care if Time Lords have any kind of stall process. You're not stalling for 3 turns. This ain't happening. Welcome new member. Oh shit, I actually have the do I have my alerts off? My alerts. I did. Oops. Let me replay that. Is it replay? Maybe. Click the replay. Anyway, thank you, Sean, for the re-membership. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. For how many months it was. Sorry, I can't actually see it now because the stupid alerts are off. I apologize. Alright, moving on. The skill skips 1 turn. If the opponent does blow up the trap, you get... If the opponent blows up the trap, okay. Alright, Scrum Force. While you control 2 or more face-up defense vision monsters, your opponent cannot target defense vision monster you control with card effects, and they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. If this card be destroyed by a card effect, you can destroy one card in your spell and trap card zone instead. Right. 2 face-up defense position monsters, and you just make a wall, I guess. That's a pretty cool card. No one he's going to use, but hey, it's pretty cool, I guess. It's got Bean Soldier on it. That's pretty cool. Or Jerry Beans Man, sorry. Looks like you got Beaver Warrior on it as well. But yeah, that's a card I think we can all agree it's probably not going to see much play. Most likely. Bold assumption. Super Heavy Samurai support. Let's hope Super Heavy Samurai don't end up having to use this. That'd be... Damn, they'd be really down bad if they're playing this card. Alright. Sleeping Giant. What, Zushin? Anyway. The Accumulator. Accumulator. Hang on. Gain attack equal to the combined link ratings of all link monsters on the field times 300. Wow. That's a pretty stacked card. Bruh. How many link monsters would you actually have to have on the field for this thing to reach 2,000 attack? Like, just 2,000. How much do we need here? God damn, this thing is shit. Even for a normal, this is some garbonzo. Alright, next Pendulum card. For the 2 people in chat excited for it. Pendulum summons of your Solfachord monsters cannot be negated. Okay. While you have an even pendulum scale in your pendulum zone, you take no damage from battles involving your Solfachord pendulum monsters. If this card is normal special summoned, you target one spell and trap card your opponent controls, return it to hand. Okay. Getting somewhere, some form of back row removal. That's not too bad. I'm excited, Giga Chad. Yeah. Well, cool, I guess. I like this one better than this one, but I assume they're looking more like their scale cards anyway. I assume. Being a low scale of 2 and 6, I assume they're probably scale cards. This one's effect is okay, but it's sort of background removal sort of stuff, so not too bad. Alright. What Kinetic Puppeteer? Quick effect. You can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target one monster your opponent controls, move that target to another of their main monster zones. What kind of a hand trap is this? I never knew this thing even existed. What? Move it to another monster zone. Spoiler, the pen deck will play a bit more back row heavy compared to other pen decks. Wow, that sounds exciting. Pen deck and back row deck in one. Yeah, so this card, obviously no one's going to play it, but hey, it exists, I guess. That's the Crusadia counter. That's it right there. Put it in your main deck. I want 17 of these. Yeah, I won't give that a hard no, I reckon. Yeah. Engraver of the Mark. Okay. During either player's turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect by declaring exactly one card name. What? A card or effect by declaring exactly one card name? What effect does that? Like, what? Are we playing, like, Prohibition or something? You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, declare one other card name. It's like, what is this? An anti fucking, whatever you call it, actually just Prohibition counter or something? Cross out? Do we even have cross out in Duel Links? Is that a thing? This card, the card name your opponent declared becomes the card name declared by this effect. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can target face-up card on the field, destroy it during the end phase of this turn. What is this card? This card is... It is so... Where did these hand traps come from? Bro, Ash Blossom too strong for Duel Links? We'll stick in we'll chuck in this one instead. This'll do. This is what Duel Links needs. What? Good stuff, Ken. I'll get right on that, buddy. That is some random ass cards I never knew existed, so... Now I know, I guess. I've been educated. Alright. Halion the Time Lord. Cannot be special summoned from the deck. If you control no monsters, you normal summon this card without attributing. Cannot be destroyed by battle card effects. You take no battle damage from attacks involving this card. At the end of the battle phase, if this card battled, if your life points is lower than your opponent's, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the difference. Once per turn during your standby phase, shuffle this card into the deck. So this is definitely probably one of the worst of the Time Lords. If not the worst, I imagine. This one is really bad. Because yeah, the whole idea is you're trying to burn your opponent. I don't know why your life points would be expected to be lower. Because they shouldn't be. So, yeah, this card basically has no effect. Actually, just no effect. So, yeah. I'm still curious if I'm actually even going to make a Time Lord video. I'm going to try to make one, but I know you need 3 copies of this dude up here, which is... We'll see if my box luck is lucky enough. I do have plans to make a certain Time Lord variant, for anyone in my Discord that knows what the plans are for that one. But, we'll see how that turns out. It might not turn out too well. There will definitely be a Resonator video, though. The Photon one? Not Photon, what's it called? This one, Synchron one. I have no idea how this skill works. I tried to read over it and it was just it's too much words. So I was just like, I'm just going to wait for someone to sort of like tell me how it works and then I'm going to do that. But this one seems a bit more straightforward. The Resonator one seems pretty nuts, so. Is Red Rain a 3 off? Probably not. You probably only need 1 copy of it because it's searchable off the skill and it's recyclable. It comes back from the graveyard, so. But we'll talk about that when we actually get to the Red Rain. Alright. Sadion the Time Lord. Can always be summoned from the deck. If you control no monsters, you can normal summon this card without attributing. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. You take no battle damage attacked on this card. At the end of the battle phase, if this card battled and your life points is less than 4,000, your life points become 4,000. Once per turn during your standby phase, shuffle this card into the deck. Right, so I said this one was probably the worst Time Lord. I might have to take that back. Yeah, okay, these two are abysmal. You are not playing these at all. Like I said, with this one, your life points shouldn't really be down. You should generally have, like... your opponent shouldn't be hitting you in the face. So these cards, let's just say we're not playing them, okay? Alright. Oh, frog support? Okay, Froggy Force Field. Activate when a face-up frog monster you control except Frog the Jam is selected as an attack target. Destroy all attack vision monsters your opponent controls. It's a Mirror Force, but for frogs. When the hell did this get released? Mirror Force for frogs. Well, unfortunately, Mirror Force itself sees 0 play, so I'm going to assume Mirror Force for frogs is also going to see no play. I'm just looking this up out of curiosity. I want to see if anyone actually plays this card. Literally no one. Wait, fucking Meta Weekly's playing it? Sheesh. Okay, there are people playing it here and there, you know, talking shit. It's a GX0 card. Cloak and Dagger actually kind of cool. Okay, you've hyped me up for it now. Declare 1 monster card name. Oh shit! That's why they added the Engraver into the game. Oh, now I understand. Thank God. So, if we didn't get Engraver, this Cloak and Dagger card, oh, this would be broken. Alright. If your opponent normal summons, spell summons, or flips that monster face up, remove that monster and this card from play. There you go. So now we have the counter to the Cloak and Dagger. Perfect. I mean, as far as free-to-play backrow goes, I guess it's something. If you know what your opponent's playing, that's pretty dope, I guess. Actually, in a lot of sense, it's like, this trap card is really easy to get off. Like, really easy to get off. If it only worked in normal summons, it'd be shit, but it works on specials too, so it's not exactly hard. You see your opponent does 1 normal summon, you probably know what deck they're playing, all of a sudden you stop them going to whatever Link monster or Xyz monster they plan to go into. It's got crazy and normal on it, maybe. Now, in saying that, should you run this or you're just running a normal back row that can be used on anything, not just one specific card you've declared? Yes. Yes, you should. But if you haven't got any back row, then, I mean, it's not awful. So, sure, I guess. Alright. Dark Snake Syndrome. During each of your standby phases, inflict damage to both players. This damage begins at 200 and is double. 200 it begins at? Sheesh. Alright, chat. Someone do the math. How many turns have we taken until this thing kills us? How many turns? What are we at? TIMELORD card. It's 100 in game. Surely this isn't halved. There is no shot this thing is halved. See, this is how I can tell we're a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh players. Literally no one in chat had the answer. No one had the answer for how many turns it would take to kill. It is halved? Oh my god. It's even more turns. 5 turns, you reckon? You know, I'm not even going to fact check you. I'm just going to believe you. I'm just going to believe you on that one. Alright, moving on. 10 turns? Oh, he changed his answer already. What is this? Alright, Brain Jacker. Flip. Oh my god, it's a flip card. Equip this card to a monster on your opponent's side of the field and treat it as an equip card. Take control of the equipped monster. Your opponent gains 500 life points during each of their standby phases. Wow, that is crazy, guys. Yoink one of your opponent's monsters on a flip effect? Oh my god. You know, we don't care about this. Don't we already have I'm pretty sure we already had a card that does something very similar, right? Crawler support. I mean, this works with whatever it's called. Pawns, right? Subterra support or some shit. New Subterra card dropped. Yeah, no. Won't change anything though. But it's cool and all people like playing flip decks, I guess. Alright. Next, a lot of pendulum looking cards. We have Solfachord Musica. Activate one of these effects based on the pendulum scales of Solfachord pendulum monsters you control. Odd. Spirit summon face-up Solfachord pendulum monster with an odd pendulum scale from your extra deck. Even. Spirit summon Solfachord blah blah. Even? Okay. Even and odd. Target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. Okay. So pop one trap card if you have a pendulum scale that's odd and even. It's a searchable pop. Okay, searchable makes it really good. This is part of your standard like combo. You might just end on this at the end. So a nice little pop on your back row. Okay, seems pretty good. I assume we'll be playing this then if it's searchable, just as even if it's just a one-of as part of whatever your standard combo is. Depends on what we mean by searchable too. Like if your deck like has something else you want to search for instead most of the time, then maybe you don't run it. But if one of your like Solfachord monsters you just happen to summon searches for a spell or trap card, then sure. Seems pretty good. Alright, the card I did not expect to see. A Triamid card. I thought we had all the Triamid cards, so I have no clue what this thing does. It's continuous though, which is not great in Triamid considering we already have one continuous trap card set, so it really clogs up your back row, but we'll see what it does. If a field spell is placed in the field zone, you can add one Triamid spell and trap from your deck to your hand except Triamid loading. If a face-up rock monster you control is destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effect, you can spell summon Triamid monster with a different name from your deck. You only use each effect of Triamid loading once per turn. This one is recent, 2 or 3 years. Alright, so this card... I don't know. So immediate thoughts is it can't be too bad, because at worst, it just becomes the other Triamid trap card, right? Because you're always going to open a field spell in Triamid, and if you don't, then you're bricking anyway. I guess, actually, to be fair, a lot of the time we're just playing skills that allows you to swap out the field spell for a field spell, right? But it seems pretty good. Because at worst, it literally is just like, you just activate a field spell and you get your trap card, right? So it just becomes the trap card. And summon Sphinx. I don't really care too much about that stuff, because that was based on like destruction or some shit, right? If a face-up rock monster you control destroy battle or opponent's card. Yeah, it's based on destruction, which is kind of... not the greatest. Especially with things like Compulse going around. Especially considering you have a field spell that's trying to protect you from destruction effects anyway. It's kind of weird, but I guess. It's definitely not the worst. I feel like if you're playing Triamids, you should definitely give this a go. But I don't think it's going to be too relevant in making the deck actually like playable or anything. It's not the worst. Yeah, 'cause like I said, I'm pretty sure this card, like, if you have already running like 3 copies of your Triamid, whatever the fuck it's called. Is it called Pulse? Triamid Pulse? What's it called? If you're already running 3 copies of this, you might as well just at least cut 1 for this. Just because this card does just essentially become that trap card if you want it. Just activate a field spell, you search for it. And then you've got this thing on the field. So maybe a one-off, maybe. I don't think you want to run too much more than that. I don't know. I'm not sure on this card. I'd like to see it in action. I don't think it's going to be good enough to be like actually relevant though. Like relevant in changing the deck. I mean, I don't think Triamid has any chance of being relevant again. But I don't think this has any chance of like being relevant in that deck. I'm not sure. All right, Solfachord Harmonia. You can activate one of these effects. Add one face-up Solfachord Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. Increase the pendulum scale of a Solfachord card in your pendulum zone by its level this turn. If you control Solfachord pendulum monster cards with at least 3 different even pendulum scales or at least 3 different odd pendulum scales, destroy 1 card your opponent controls. It's a field spell. Is this relevant, chat? I have no clue about this card. This seems like it's too many words. So if your monsters on field are in harmony, you can pop. Is that something that regularly happens? Getting 3 monsters on the field all with the same scales? And not even the same scales, 3 different even pendulum scales. It does? Seems very specific having 3 monsters on the field from a pendulum summon. You'd hope this deck has like some insane sort of special summoning draw shit going on to be able to get 2 scales out and 3 pendulum monsters in Duel Links on your going second or going first turn or whatever. Seems really oddly specific. This deck would have to be pretty damn powerful for this card to be, or powerful and like, I don't know. That's a lot. That's a lot of cards here to get a hold of. The next card is great. Now, so far I'm not a huge fan of this card. I think it had to be something that really like, they got a skill that helps them, did they? Because they probably need one. I'm not super keen on this card unless there's some sort of easy way to sort of set it up. Because even just getting 3 monsters for a pendulum summon is can be kind of difficult. Let alone 3 specific ones. Alright, Solfachord Elegance. Place 1 Solfachord Pendulum monster from your deck in your Pendulum Zone. Okay, that's a bit better. Add 1 Solfachord Pendulum monster from your hand to your extra deck face up. Then place 2 Solfachord Pendulum monsters, 1 odd and 1 even, from your deck in your Pendulum Zones. Okay, that's getting a lot better. Add 2 cards, 1 odd and 1 even Pendulum Scale from your Pendulum Zones to the extra deck. And if you do, draw 2 cards. Okay, this card seems pretty decent. I like all 3 of these effects. All 3 seem pretty dope. Okay, but this card seems great. This card seems really great. This card is an ultra rare and master duel. that's kind of weird. Ultra rare to only rare in this. But this card, yeah, this card is actually fantastic. Why is there only an R rarity then? It's not even SR. I guess the SR pool was fairly stacked already. Isn't there 3 already in here? I saw someone in my Discord was complaining about it. Solfachord having 3 SRs. Yeah, they do too. So they already have 3 SRs. Probably couldn't add another one. There was no ultra rare room left in the box, so. Pretty dope though. For as far as pendulums go, you know. I'm still not going to be playing it. But anyway, moving on. Solfachord Gracia. Your opponent can activate spell and trap card on monster effects when your Solfachord Pendulum monster is pendulum summoned. Okay. While you have an even pendulum scale in your pendulum zone, if your Solfachord Pendulum monster attacks, your opponent can activate monster effects in their damage step. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add 1 Solfachord spell and trap card from your deck to your hand. Okay, a searcher. And this is how you get your trap card turn 1, wherever it was. Shit. Okay. Well, we have a searcher now for a 2100 attack monster that can search for a pop card whenever you want it for during your opponent's turn. They're gonna cry a girl kill you, Loom. You can try. Alright, moving on. Solfachord Angelica. Your opponent can activate blah blah blah. While you have an odd pendulum scale in your pendulum zone, if your Solfachord pendulum monster attacks, your opponent can activate spell and trap cards. Okay. During your main phase, you contribute 1 Solfachord pendulum monster, and if you do, special summon Solfachord pendulum monster from your deck whose pendulum scale is too higher or too lower. Alright, is this to try to set up the field spell, or what are we doing that for? I guess maybe there's just a bigger one you want to get a hold of? Can this thing target itself? It can target itself, right? So it can get something bigger or lower? Too higher or too lower? So what are you, a 6? And grab a 4? 4 and an 8? So grab either of these two. And grab either of the SRs. That's kind of promising. Can summon boss monster with her? Well, we'll see what these two dudes do in a second. If either of them are insane, then this card becomes insane. It is level 6 though, and what's the average scale for this? The scales are kind of... There's a scale 8 there. Scale 7 there. Its level is pretty high. Sure. You contribute into the scale 1. The skill helps a lot. What is the skill for this? I literally never read it because I didn't care at all about Solfachord, but or sorry, anything that revolves is this one? At the beginning of the duel, add pendulum zones to your field. The following effect can be used once per duel. Select one pendulum monster you control and place it in your pendulum zone. Then select one pendulum monster in your deck with the same original type as that monster with a different original name and place it in your pendulum zone. Then negate both cards. The turn you activate this skill, you can only special summon from your extra deck once, except for pendulum summons. This skill can only be applied... Okay. Is that actually a set? This is too advanced, my small mini brain, right? I don't have time for this. I think I'm going to move on from this card. I'm already getting bored. Alright, so these two are the same other cards that combo with this that I've already said are pretty much unlikely to be played because it's like a 3-turn timer sort of combo thing. Skill apparently reduces it by 1, but even then, I'm not waiting 2 turns to be able to play the game. It just sounds awful. Activate this card by sending one Infinite Machine from your spell and trap card zone to the graveyard. This face-up card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Neither player can target Time Lord monsters you control with card effects or return Time Lord monsters from the field to the deck. Once per turn, if you control no monsters, you can special summon up to one Time Lord monster each from your hand, deck, and graveyard with different names, ignoring their summoning conditions. Okay. So that just summons a bunch of dudes. Sure. Is this the final one? Activate this card by sending one Empty Machine. Oh no, this is the final one. Infinite Light's the final one. Infinite Machine. Activate this card by sending one face-up Empty Machine from your spell and trap card zone to the graveyard. Once per turn, this face-up card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Once per turn, you can activate one of these effects. During your main phase, special summon one Time Lord monster from your hand. You can target one Time Lord monster in your graveyard, shuffle into the deck, then set one Infinite Light directly from your hand or deck. So you'll use this one, go into this one, and then go into this one. And the final one actually has some pretty stacked effects on it, because it summons 3 to the field, which is quite a lot of monsters. But yeah, I don't know, waiting 3 turns to be able to activate it, that just sounds hella troll. I think I'd prefer just have some standard back row in here in general, and then just play Time Lord as more of just a standard back row deck rather than playing this stuff. I forget what the skill did, but I don't think it was that impressive enough where it would merit actually wanting to play these. The second one isn't that bad, because there's a special summon on it. I don't know about that one. Hit with MST on your 3rd turn. These cards are immune to destruction, right? So you're only worrying about Cosmic. Alright. Pendulum Mucho. Once per turn during your main phase, if this card was activated this turn, you target one of your Pendulum monsters that is banished or in your graveyard, except Pendulum Mucho. Add it to your extra deck face up. Sure. If this card is normal or special summoned, you special summon one face up level 1 Pendulum monster from your extra deck, except Pendulum Banishment leaves the field. Right. This seems pretty bad, right? This seems pretty average. Yeah, this card seems dog poop, right? The art looks cool. That is true. That is true. Gotta give it props for the art. Okay, this one seems gross. One for one target. Oh yeah, we're getting a sale from that card, aren't we? Look boys, 1 for 1 bundle. Big pog. Send one monster from your hand to the graveyard. Special summon level 1 monster from your hand or deck, which includes the new Time Lord. That's pretty pog, actually. Good to see, good to see. Has my Minecraft video processed yet? Oh my god, it has. Oh, it processed. Hang on, boys. Let me just, Sorry, chat, let me just, Okay, I'll let you see what I'm seeing, just so you guys know I'm actually doing something. Does this video get public now? It finally processed after 3 hours, or however long it took. Oh my god, I'm streaming, wow. I need the mem. Now I need to type something witty real quick. Hang on, something witty. Need something witty real quick. Something about complaining about floodgates. I'll think about this one in a second. Brain's too slow at the moment. something floodgates. I'll figure that out in a second. Alright, where are we up to? RESONATOR Dreamier. Pendulum summons while not coming negated. While you have an odd pendulum scale in your pendulum zone, if a Solfachord pendulum monster card you control would be destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you destroy this card instead of one of those cards. If you control a Solfachord card in your pendulum zone, you can special summon this card from your hand. Oh. Special summon it from your hand. Is there a reason you want to special summon this? Just because it has like the scale for the field spell? There's no like tuners or extra deck stuff in this, right? So why do you want a 600 attack monster on the field? Thumbnail bug, thank you. The link? Oh, that's right. Chat told me there was a link, didn't they? This one. There's a link. 2 pendulum monsters, Grand Solfachord Musicia. During your main phase, you can add 1 pendulum monster from your hand to the extra deck face up, and 1 face up pendulum monster from your extra deck to the hand, as long as one of them has an even pendulum scale and the other has an odd pendulum scale. When you pendulum summon a Solfachord monster, you target one of them, add 1 Solfachord pendulum monster from your deck to your hand whose levels equal the pendulum scale of that monster. Okay, that seems pretty decent. Second effect's kind of weird though, right? So once you've already done your pendulum summon for the turn, why would you want to add another pendulum monster to hand? Unless you're adding something that's already like normal summonable or something. Like, it seems super odd. I'm not much of a pendulum player though, so it's very hard for me to rate pendulum cards because I actually have no clue what these cards do. Yeah, I guess this is bad for Duel Links. I don't think it really matters too much. I'm not doing much link summoning, right? Free card advantage, true. But the fact it's not immediate, it's kind of weird. I'm not really sure how impactful it is, but we'll see. You can add on the monster you can special summon, the one we read just about. Yeah, why would you want to add? Yeah, but I don't want to add the 700 attack one. What's the point in that? Unless you're trying to proc the field spell. I guess you can go into a Link 3 afterwards, I guess. You can do some Link plays with it. Though, apparently, if you're using the new skill, you can't, because the new skill lets you only summon from the extra deck once. Do you think carries they can't do? Their Link 4 combo they could do in Master Duel. Alright, we'll see, we'll see. Not sure about these Solfachord stuff. We haven't even gotten to the SRs yet, so we're about to see when we get into them. Once the turn you use it, no limit after that? Okay. Use the link turn 2 after use the skill turn 1, sure. The deck doesn't lock you into link summoning, Solfachord specifically, so you have to link. Yeah, but that's what we're talking about with the skill. The skill is kind of odd because it means, I guess, going first it doesn't apply really too much, but going second you won't be able to go into any link summons because it locks you into. This thing locks you into only one extra deck summon. So if you're using the new skill, you'd be locked into one extra deck summon going second, but it doesn't really apply going first apparently, because yeah. Apparently it doesn't apply for the rest of the duel, just applies for the that turn. So I'm not sure how much of a difference that makes or how that will work. We'll have to see when the stuff's released, or what these SR cards do first, because the SR cards might be crazy, we don't even know yet. Alright, I actually should probably add everyone in my Discord that I posted a video. I should probably do that. There you go. Get pinged. And post in the channel too. Alright, what's next? Another Time Lord monster. Lazion the Time Lord. Cannot be special summoned from the deck. If you control no monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. You take no battle damage from attacks involving this card. At the end of the battle phase, if this card battled, shuffle all cards in your opponent's graveyard into the deck. Once per turn, if your opponent draws a card, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. Once per turn during your standby phase, shuffle this card into the deck. This is an anti-graveyard Time Lord. So I guess depending on whatever meta you're in, you might want to play this, but very meta dependent. Shuffling a graveyard is pretty decent. Salaman, Great Beware. But yeah, it just kind of depends on the meta you're in, whether or not you want to or not. And even then, it's kind of like, you have to weigh whether or not shuffling graveyard into the deck is worth just sort of potentially having something that does lethal damage or burn damage, like the half life point one, or the one that has like 4 billion attack, like the 4k attack one or something. Like, is it really worth running this card? I don't know. It's kind of like, yeah, it just sort of depends on meta, I guess. There's decks going around that heavily rely on graveyard. Maybe you want to run it. Alright. Gabrion the Time Lord. Cannot be spell summoned from the deck. If you control no monsters, you normal summon this card attributing. Can be destroyed by card effects. You take no blah blah blah. At the end of the battle phase, if this card battled, shuffle as many cards your opponent controls as possible into the deck. Then they draw cards equal to the number shuffled into their main deck. Sorry, my nose is very itchy right now. Yeah, this card seems like really bad when you compare it to the fact that there's the other Time Lord cards in here, or the other Time Lord cards that exist that are just better, because they just shuffle without having to give your opponent a billion card draws. I feel like giving your opponent a bunch of card draws really probably isn't the best way to play the game. Just a thought. So yeah. Not a fan of this one. We've got a bunch of Time Lord stuff that does this kind of effect, but doesn't give your opponent a bunch of card draws, so... Not a fan. Alright, moving on. Falling Down. Activate this card by targeting an opponent's monster. Equip this card to it. Take control of it and destroy this card unless you control an Archfiend card. During each of your opponent's damage phases, you take 800 damage. What the hell? Okay, I mean, it's kind of cool, but it's probably a no still. Because most of your Archfiend cards, or the fact that you have to rely on having an Archfiend card on the field is pretty troll, because your opponent's just going to remove the card before this thing is activated, right? Or if they see you're activating this, they'll then remove the Archfiend in response. Yeah. It's pretty good with the untargetable Archfiends, because your opponent might not actually have a way to easily remove it, and then you just yoink stuff. But even then, it's a bit of a stretch. It's definitely a bit of a stretch. Can you use it with Red Dragon Archfiend? Certainly can. But yeah, it's a bit of a stretch. Especially in a deck like RDA, we normally have a bunch of like random ass tuners on the field and stuff, which you can just use with enemy controller, which is strictly a better card because it's a quick play. Like you might as well just play enemy controller over this. But I guess that card is limited, so. But yeah, not a fan of this. Not really a fan of this card. I think it's super beaty. Alright. A card that I really wish I had by now. This dumb Yazi that a bunch of people played in Rose Dragon ages ago, and then I never got to play because I never got it. I don't see the compulse in here though. Mr. It's Bradad's HD that told me they'd probably be coming in the next pack. Got debated. Sorry, he saved me money anyway because I was gonna invest a bunch to try to get it for the Dark Magician video. It's a complete waste of money. You didn't get it? Same didn't get it? Yeah. It'll be the Orcust main? Alright. Synchro Overtake. Reveal one Synchro monster in your extra deck. Choose one of the Synchro materials whose name is listed on that card and add it to your hand, or special summon that monster from your deck or graveyard. Or do you not special summon monsters from the extra deck the turn you activate this card except Synchro monsters? Holy hell, that seems stacked. Wow, that seems hella stacked. I thought this would be like a Synchron only card, but it's any Synchro monster. So what decks does this seem nuts in? 3 more copies of Junk Synchron. I think Junk Synchron isn't that important in this case because Junk Synchron we already have that card that searches for it anyway, so we don't really need a billion more copies of Junk Synchron. I really don't think we need any more copies of this card. But is there anything else that's actually like any other archetypes that's actually useful in? Let's you grab Stardust back from the graveyard. Yeah, tuning. We already got tuning, so it's not really that important for Synchron. Plague Zombie, Jet Synchron. That's a specific list to yeah, I get that. But I was just wondering if there's any other archetypes that have like Gen X controller, for example. I guess there really isn't that many. It seems like this card would break. I thought this card might break something, but I guess there's not that many things that would break. Because this card seems like incredibly irrelevant in case of the Stardust deck, just because we have already got tuning, which does the exact same thing for Stardust. And in Duel Links, we only need 6 copies of a card to have a consistent deck anyway. So 3 Junk Synchron and 3 tuning, you're already set to go. You don't really need this card. And you probably run one of these just to guarantee. Actually, you wouldn't even need that because we've already got Rota, right? For some reason I've forgotten what Rhoda stands for. What does Rhoda stand for, chat? I've got the name. I've got the card. What does Rhoda stand for? How have I forgotten this? Reinforcement of the army, thank you. Yeah. Reinforcement of the army. So yeah, this card can also search for your Junk Warrior. So we technically already have 7 Junk Warriors in our deck. So we don't really need another 3 more. We just don't. I think Quasar still needs a skill for your last Synchro material. Are we getting a skill? You can special summon from the grave and deck though, so it's still worth running at 3. That is true, it has got a special summon on it. Wait, isn't Junk Synchron's effect on normal though? It's on normal summon. But I guess you can play it in combination with your tuning and stuff. It's kind of weird because it kind of cucks its own effect, since this card doesn't actually do its stuff on special summon. You can summon Stardust from grave with it. Probably. Helps play through disruption, that's true. So I guess you probably are going to play 3 of it. I don't actually know what the combo is with the new skill yet, and like how the ordering works, because you meant to... It's not meant to do it on your first turn, right? To end on your big new boss monster. You meant to end it on turn 2, right? Where is it? Like your second turn. Each of the following effects can be used once per duel. Okay. Send 1 Synchron monster or 1 level 2 or lower wind, or 1 level 2 wind monster with 1000 or less attack from your hand to the graveyard. Then add 1 Synchron monster from your deck to your hand and set 1 Synchro Chase from outside of your deck. What is Synchro Chase? Chase. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the effect activating Synchron monsters. If you Synchro summon a warrior, Synchron, or Stardust Synchro monster, you can target 1 monster in your graveyard, use as a material, special summon it in defense position. Alright. So this can already add the Junk Synchron. Okay. Send all monsters you control to the graveyard. If the total original attack of the monsters sent to the graveyard is 2500 or more, set 2 random Singer dragons with different names out of 4 from outside of your deck. Okay, I don't know how that will end up with. Can be used in turn 3 and onward. Return 1 Stardust Dragon from your field/graveyard to extra deck, then change the level of all Synchro monsters you control to 2 and set 1 Livestream Dragon from outside of your deck. Oh, this skill seems so weird. Has 2 videos pinned if you want to see. Sure. Have a look. Pinned videos. Let's see if this will work. Alright, it might become a bit scuffed, Jack. So I'm just show Discord on screen, so we'll see how scuffed this looks. Let's see how scuffed this ends up looking. What's that formatting? I don't know. Anyway, let's see if this works. Ah. Alright, so this is using the skill or something. Jet? Okay. Charge warrior, okay. Wait, we're doing stuff. Okay, spoiler alert for another card later in the box. Oh my god, was that on turn 1? No, it's not turn 1, it's already a junk in the graveyard. So exactly what was the play here though? You already started with that dude on field? So improved 3 cards, Link Slayer, Junk, Synchro, Overtake, Quasar combo, runnable, and SSR variant. Okay. 2 card combo Quasar with new skill on turn 1, involving Synchro Chase provided by skill and Go Defender. Requirement, pitching Jet Synchron to the graveyard with skill and going Synchron Carrier plus Junk Synchron. So Jet Synchron plus Junk Carrier is pretty much full combo. Coral draws offset Jet discard so we don't have to minus. Okay. So the skill, never mind that card, he just discarded with the skill. Okay. Summon dude. Bring back dude. What is half the screen? I apologize for that. So what the hell is that? Something. Some random ass synchro monster. Probably not particularly relevant. Brings back dude, goes into one of my favourite cards. Summons another copy of himself, brings out the other guy, Coral, into Quasar, and draws a card. Okay, and was that was all doable on turn 1? Okay. That's some cool stuff, I guess. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting deck when it comes out. Just trying to work out how the skill stuff works and all the interactions, but we'll see. That did look pretty sick. But either way, let's move on to the actual next card, right? Probably going to be playing this at 3. I don't know. We'll see. I think that's the kind of deck that we have to wait till the actual skills release till we actually see like the full extent of what we're doing with it. The Synchro is relevant because you need only Earth Warriors to use Go. Oh, okay. Alright. Pendulum summon off your Solfachord Pendulum monster can't be negated. While you have an odd Pendulum scale in your monster zone, if your Solfachord Pendulum monster will destroy a battle, you can destroy this card instead. During your main phase, you can add one Solfachord Pendulum monster from your deck or to your extra deck face up. So this card is basically a search for the deck. Sure, that's why it's an SR, because it's a searcher. Even summonable off of your Angelica if you want it. Yeah, so even summonable off your Angelica if you want it, because it's level 4. So you can tribute this, summon this, search for another monster of some kind, one of your other Solfacords. Not much else to say about this card. Generally, cards that search are generally pretty good. There's not much else to really say about it. Although it does add to the extra deck, so it's more for the Pendulum summon part of it. Because you're not likely going to get... Actually, one of these added them back, right? I thought one of these added it back. Yeah, this one adds it back. The field spell does. Alright, so let's check out the next one. What scale was that, by the way? Scale 5. Okay, so this is a scale 1. Oh, this is a level 8, scale 1. Pendulum effect. Your opponent cannot activate spell and trap card on monster effects when a Solfachord Pendulum monster is Pendulum summoned. Monster effects. You can special summon this card from your hand by tributing 2 pendulum monsters. You only use each of the following effects of blah blah once per turn. You can target one face-up card your opponent controls, or up to 2 cards if you have an odd pendulum scale in your pendulum zone. Negate its effects until the end of your opponent's turn. That's not a quick effect though, right? It's not. When an effect of a monster on the field is activated with an equal or lower attack than the highest pendulum scale in your pendulum zone, you can destroy that monster. Okay, so more disruption going first. But for a very specific amount of attack. Good turn 1. I mean, it is good turn 1. It's summonable off of this card, by the way, as well, I'm pretty sure. This is level 6, so I can make it level 8. The negate part of it seems pretty irrelevant, because we don't really care about... we don't really care about, like, non-quick effect negates. They're just never really good. You need a new camera? What do you mean? What's wrong with my current camera? They can see all the imperfections on my face. And what's wrong with my camera? Huh? Perfect quality. Look at this high quality camera right here. Oh shit. Let's just zoom out. God damn it. This is like a boss card. It's also important to note this thing has a crazy scale number of 1, but assume you probably want to not use it as a scale. That effect is pretty cracked as well. Yeah, this card's pretty good. Speaking of good cards though, let's move on to something actually exciting. Red Rain. This card we're going to be seeing a lot of soon. This card is crazy good. If you control a level 8 or higher Synchro monster, banish all monsters on the field except the monster with the highest level. Also, the remaining face-up monsters on the field are unaffected by other card effects except their own until the end of this turn. If a Dark Dragon Synchro monster is Synchro summoned to your field while this card's in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. Yeah, Giga Chad Master is faster. Yeah, this card is absolutely crazy. And it has a skill now to go with it that allows you to search for it, wherever that skill was. I guess we've read all the other ones, so we might as well read this one too. The skill can be used once per duel by sending 1 Fiend-type monster from your hand to your graveyard. Send 1 Resonator monster or 1 level 4 Fiend-type monster from your deck to your graveyard. Then add 1 level 4 Fire Fiend-type monster to your hand. So that stupid pony-looking thing, generally. You can only special summon monsters during this turn except Synchro monster, blah, blah, blah. If you control Red Dragon, you can only use each of the following effects once per duel and max 1 effect per turn. If you control a Red Dragon Archfiend, return 1 Fiend-type monster on your field and 1 in your hand to your deck. Then set 1 Red Rain on your field from your deck. During this turn, Defense Vision Resonating monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. So, essentially, you only actually need 1 copy of this card, because if you get it, you can set it face down, activate it goes to the graveyard, summon out another dude, it puts itself back on the field. So this card is infinitely recyclable unless your opponent has a Cosmic Cyclone, or some way to sort of banish it. But even then, if you get this effect off once, it's already going to be pretty crazy. But yeah, if RDA becomes a little more meta relevant, I wouldn't be surprised if Cosmic sort of takes the place of MSD, just for this card. I'm playing 4? I mean, it is pretty goddamn crazy. But I think you probably want to play it at 1 though, just so you have more room for other tech cards and shit. Like, if you can afford to run this at 1, it just means you can play actual things like MST, so you can dodge your own annoying back row stuff. Not lose the mirror instantly. I think the I'm pretty sure this skill is going to be better than the Stardust one, but I'm not sure. Probably because the Stardust one is a lot more confusing to work out, whereas this one's just like, oh look, you can search for that fire pony thing, whatever it was called. Will it show up for me? Or am I going to have to be confused because I don't know what the name of this dumb card is? Is it a fiend? Surely it's a fiend. This thing. You just grab Sprinter, right? Yeah, so this skill is already pretty easy to work out. You just grab your Sprinter and go into your full combo. Because I guess to be fair, the problem with the current versions of RDAs, they don't really end on anything. Like, you can summon gigantic boss monsters, but none of the boss monsters really do anything. So Red Rain is basically going to be, yeah, this is going to be like the thing that carries your deck now. Red Rain, the fact that you have a bunch of other back row, because your stuff's basically one card combo. But you have to have a discard from hand, right? So it might be 2 card, I'm not really sure. Or 1.5 card. We'll see anyway. Alright, moving on. Time Maiden. Alright, if you control no monsters, you can spell summon this card from your hand. This card can be treated as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of a Time Lord monster. You can tribute this card, add 1 Time Lord monster with 0 attack from your deck to your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard, spell summon 1 Time Lord monster with 0 attack from your deck, ignoring summoning conditions. You cannot spell summon other monsters during the turn you activate this effect. This card is a search for any of your other Time Lord cards, and it's a special summon of a Time Lord from your deck, right? So it is a pretty, yeah, it's a pretty insane card. And just special summons itself, so... And it's level 1 monster, so it's now searchable off of your new bundle card. Here he is, new bundle. I think you're playing 5 with this card. Wait, what's the other search for it? There's another search for it, or? Yes, you definitely need 3 of this if you're trying to play Time Lord, because it's actually crazy. Yeah, we've already brought up the 1 search for it, okay? What are the other search? Because someone said there were 5 searches for it. Or someone said there was technically 5 copies of it, which means there will need to be 2 searches on top of the 3 you've already got. SR mini box, the same as Ultra, but yeah. And you need 3 of this. Wonder how much Synchro overtake I need. God, that's annoying to work out. I have to look through it. I had to see if anyone's put any deck lists in DLM and see if anyone's how many copies of this card they're running. If I need 3 of this, that's gonna be painful. Because I don't care about the spoiler alert, I'm not really making a pendulum deck, so you don't be seeing any of this from me. And I assume the Synchros you only need 1 copies of, so a lot of this stuff will be a fairly cheap box outside this Time Maiden if I want to go for Time Lord. And this overtake card, which I'm not sure about yet. You can run 2. It's not a case of can I run 2. You can run 2 of anything. It's just is it better to run 2 or not? If it's not better, then it just feels worse, you know? You can run 2 instead of 3 for consistency in anything. That doesn't necessarily make it like feel good. I don't like really doing things suboptimally if I don't have to. Alright, let's check out this Cutia. Oh god. Pendulum summons of your Solfachord pendulum monster can be negated. While you have an even pendulum scale in your pendulum zone, Solfachord monsters you control gain attack equal to 100 times their own pendulum scale. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add 1 Solfachord pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. Okay, well, they're just another search card. Sure. Works on normal or pendulum summon. Let's not call this one a waifu chat. I feel like that one could get you ended up in certain places, get you put in a few lists. A couple of watch lists if you are calling this one a waifu, I reckon. It's level 1 for your 1-for-1 target, sure. Best one for the scales too. Summon her, search, scale her, +1 from the deck. Oh, I see. So it really is like that DD skill. Damn. It's got a search, put it on the scale, and there's a scale 8 there for you. Alright, this deck seems like it's only pretty functional. It's got one sort of removal on this. It's got a search pool removal on this. So it's already got a pretty decent turn 1. And I don't really know what it does going second, but I assume just spam, flood, board, pendulum is probably going to be enough to sort of win anyway, so it's probably going to be pretty good. Seems like it's definitely going to be a playable deck at least. Whether or not it's top tier, God knows I can't rate pendulum decks for shit, so that's going to be on someone else to do. It seems like it's going to be playable at least. Alright, Shooting Red Dragon. If this card is Synchro summoned, you can send one monster from your deck to the graveyard whose level is lower than this card's on the field. And if you do, reduce this card's level by that monster's. But for the rest of this turn, you cannot activate the effects of monsters of the same name as the sent monster in the graveyard. Okay. You can only use the effects of Summon once per turn. Once per chain, during your opponent's main phase, you can quick effect immediately after this effect resolves, Synchro summon using this card you control. Alright, so it's like a TG style effect of Synchro summoning during your opponent's turn. Which can be pretty good. Though this thing is level 7, so I'm not sure what you're quick summoning into that's useful on your opponent's turn. What's a good summon with this thing, chat? What are we going into? Mistworm? No, it's not Black Rose. Black Rose is I guess the bigger Black Rose, I think you might be able to go into, but yeah, you can't go into Black Rose with this, it's level 7. Oh, it changes level? Wait. Oh yeah, because it changes level from the monster you send, right? Wait, does it? Oh yeah, it does too. Is that a permanent effect? Oh, it is permanent. I see. Yeah, the ruddy one. Okay. So you can Black Rose if you want to. That gives most of the Synchron decks turn 1s now. Even if you can't go into something crazy turn 1, you can just end on this thing and all of a sudden you have a turn 1. Because you can just go into whatever. Anything that TGs go into turn 1, you can go into with this, right? You can go to like fucking Crystron Halky Firebrax. Not Halky Firebrax, whatever his name is. Quarion Gandrax. Or something. New Quarion list just dropped, Pog. Or of course, yeah, there's the Trishulas. The Trishulas as well. That's actually pretty insane. Is this something we're going to be doing actively turn 1? Because I know we just checked the, we saw in the Discord that you can summon this thing turn 1. But is it something we can just, if we can't go into this turn 1, how easy is it just to go into this and set up like a Quarion play or a Trishula play, for example, with the new skill? Has anyone done any testing? Like, is this like Giga consistent turn 1 setup for Trish? With the new skill, of course. If it is, that makes this deck like really relevant. Because TG was already pretty relevant after the stuff, and this seems like it'll be really good. I still think the Red Rain skill is probably better, but in general, if this thing is setupable turn 1, just with whatever you set up normally, that is pretty crazy. Quick effect summon Trish is no joke. Same with Quarion. It's very easy to do Quarion since you have Jet. What's some Queron's requirements? 2 or more tuners plus 1 non. Oh, so this one uses tuners and the other one doesn't, right? Is this a tuner himself? He is. They can set up one with Stoha Warrior. I wonder if honestly, I'm praying that it is a Querion play over a Trishula play, as I have a bit more. I like this card a lot more. It's a lot more fun. I don't even know why. I just like this card more. He's cooler. Big yellow boy. It's be kind of dope if we can summon this card. All right. Well, there you go. This should be pretty sick. We'll see how it turns out on the release of all the stuff, but this seems pretty dope. Also, by the way, it's pretty generic, so you can play this in other archetypes too if it's easily summonable. It's not like it's being forced to be in Synchron or anything. So any Synchro deck can use this as like their turn 1 play now, which is a pretty crazy thing to think about. Yeah, we'll see. Alright. Tyrant Red Dragon Archfiend. 2 tuners plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters. Thank you for the sub, Beltzerin. Appreciate it. If you're not subbed to the channel already, guys, you should totally do so. It's completely free. It lets you know when I go live and do all these streams and stuff, and then you can catch them. And see awesome content, like when I do the new, when I make the videos and all these new decks. Wow. Except the Pendulum deck, because Pendulum cringe. Alright. Must be synchro summoned and can't be split or summoned by other ways. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. During your main phase 1, you can destroy all other cards on the field. Also, for the rest of this turn, other monsters you control cannot attack. So this thing has 3,500 attack and can destroy all other cards, not just monsters, all cards. Giga Chad. Not based Pento. During either player's battle phase, when a spell or trap card is activated, you can negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. If you do, this card gains 500 attack. So not too relevant on the second effect, though. Now that's the real waifu. Now we're talking. Alright. Nice turn 2 play. I think the thing with this card, though, is although it looks really cool and awesome, it does all this cool stuff. In general, it's not like, I don't think RDA was lacking in going second power, or like in terms of like summoning big dudes. They already kind of did that. So I see this kind of like, wow, it looks kind of cool, but in general, it's like, I don't think it really matters too much in the grand scheme of things. This matters in the grand scheme of things. This one's like, I mean, sure. Plus, yeah, it's, it locks you out of other monsters attacking except this one, so you can't even OTK when you summon this thing, so not the greatest. But I'm sure you'll probably slip one copy in there anyway, just because it's kind of cool looking, I guess. Actually, there might even be a chance we don't even play this card. I don't remember how the I know in the old RDA decks, the extra deck got pretty pretty tight at one point. Because I know there was a point where we had to cut the big synchro from the deck, and a lot of people were cutting the big fun synchro. King of the Archfiend skill for 1,000 attack boost. Yeah, we're definitely going to use another skill except the one that's going to search for Red Dragon, definitely. But we'll see, we'll see. I mean, we'll see how much this sees play. Wavering Eyes. What is this? Destroy as many cards in each player's pendulum zone as possible, then apply these effects in sequence depending on the number of cards destroyed. 1 or more, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. 2 or more, you can add 1 pendulum monster from your main deck to your hand. 3 or more, you can banish 1 card on the field. 4, you can add 1 Wavering Eyes from your deck to your hand. What? Pendulum counter? Pendulum side deck counter right here? Pendulum becomes top tier meta relevant. Activate this, pop 2 scales. That's kind of crazy as a side deck card. On ladder play, we're not playing this, but actually, I guess you can play it in your own Pendulum deck for searches, right? Well, that's a destroy 2 for a search of 1. I'm not sure that's worth it. Seems a hella minus. It's a good side deck card though, I reckon. See Metal Foes using this? Maybe. Seems very side decky though. I see this is the first SR you're getting. Really, buddy? Is that the case? God fucking damn it. Alright. Let's move on to the ultra rares now, boys. It's time. 3 ultra rares to look at. First one. Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. 1 tuner plus 1 non-tuner monster. This is a level 8. This card's name becomes Red Dragon Archfiend while it's on the field or in the graveyard. Once per turn, you can destroy as many spell summon effect monsters on the field as possible with attack less than or equal to this card. Then inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed. So this is the card I think you'll be summoning more than your Tyrant, because this card can potentially kill your opponents. It does 500 burn damage for each. So this card seems actually really good. The only reason I see you really wanting to summon this is if your opponent has a bunch of back row stuff. But if your opponent has a bunch of back row stuff, the chance of like this thing being alive is pretty low. You know, they would have back row removed this most likely. And doesn't Red Rain remove like... And banishes the monsters. Do you replace all your RDAs with it? Hell yeah, you do. Use it for more for removal than burn. I mean, in Duel Links, you just lethal with this thing. It doesn't stop you attacking or anything after using its effect. So you just use its effect minus 500 damage to your opponent for each. Actually, this hasn't been halved yet, has it? Ah, it hasn't been halved yet. So you're probably not lethaling with this now, actually. Never mind. If it was 500, you'd probably lethal with it a lot of the time. 250 is not really enough. So unless you have special summons afterwards, you might not be able to kill. Still, it's nice removal. Certainly better than the standard RDA anyway, you know? Bit of an upgrade. Definitely a bit of an upgrade. Destroy your own cards too, yep, true. Not bad though, not bad. This one's basically just replacing all your other RDAs, so stuff this dude in instead. I wonder if this guy's gonna get an animation. Since it basically does replace the other RDA. Alright, not much more to talk about with this dude now, so we'll move on to the this dude. The ultra rare everybody is hoping they don't get in their pack. The fact this is an ultra rare is actually like... Why? Why is it an ultra rare, actually? Then nobody get an animation for shooting Quasar? Maybe.
Card games
Yeah, the fact this is an ultra rare is disturbing. Because I'm pretty sure TIMELORD isn't even playing this. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be spell summoned from your hand by having 10 or more monsters in your graveyard. Once per turn, you spell summon one level 8 or higher fairy monster from your hand or graveyard, but its effects are negated. Also, its attack becomes 4,000. So, yeah. 10 or more monsters in your graveyard. How? How are we ever summoning this? Like, I doubt most TIMELORD decks run 10 monsters. The skill lets you dump 10. This skill must be pretty goddamn good. Where is this skill? Let me have a look. Why did I click farming? That's the wrong one. No space. Enter once per turn and twice per duel. Send 2 cards from your hand to the graveyard and send up to the same number of random level 10 frame monsters to the... Is this the skill you're talking about? Because if it is, this doesn't help. This is sending 4. We're gonna wait 3 turns to activate the skill? Right, special summon your boss? 3 turns? Surely you guys are talking about another skill and not that one. Second one? Alright, moving down. Empty, infinite, and... Okay. This one? Okay. Okay, there we go. Send 10 different Time Lord monsters from outside your deck to the graveyard. That's gonna look very silly. It's 10 cards in the graveyard just instantly appearing. Can be used during your next turn after one of your empty machine, infinite machine, and infinite and light is removed from the field by your opponent. But by your opponent. So the only way you could summon your boss in this deck is if your opponent lets you summon your boss. Am I reading that correctly, or am I are we just playing a dead card in our deck hoping our opponent is dumb? Or is that the plan? Yes. Very, very good skill. Very poggers. I'm definitely going to be playing that skill. Smile. Yikers. That is a, yep, bit of a yikers on that one. Let's not try to play that, okay, guys? Moving on. Just playing a bit more poggers. We have Shooting Quasar Dragon. Alright, 1 tuner synchro monster plus 2 or more non-tuner synchro monsters. Must be synchro summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. This card's maximum number of attacks per battle phase equals the number of non-tuner monsters used as its synchro material. Once per turn during either player's turn when a card or effect is activated, you can negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. When this card leaves the field, you can special summon Shooting Star Dragon from your extra deck. Alright. So this card is pretty damn crazy. Pretty difficult to summon though. We've gotten a we've seen a bunch of we saw a video earlier of someone doing it on turn 1, so it shouldn't be too hard to summon. But in general, I'm wondering if it's even worth summoning. The amount of stuff it requires to summon it, isn't it just better to go into this dude and just chill on this? Just go into a Trisha the Aquarian or something? Do we really even need to go into Shooting Quasar? I think saving Shooting Quasar for turn 3 is good, because turn 3 like helps you guarantee it or something, right? But is this card like really something we care about summoning turn 1 over just going to Shooting Riser Dragon? Is 1 Omni Negate even better than Trishula? But it's cool. It's about sending a message. Yeah, you're right, Chad. You're right. I think you probably still run it though, just because I'm still not super like knowledgeable on how this goddamn skill works. But from my understanding, on turn 3 and onwards, it's meant to be insanely easy to summon the thing. I guess you have to have a Stardust Dragon in your graveyard. Probably not having Stardust on the field if you're using this thing. So maybe it doesn't work in that way? I don't know. Floats into Shooting Star? No, which one's Shooting Star? Shooting Star. Oh, this dude. Giga Chad. It's a pretty crazy card. It's a card that if your opponent removes, you just get a Giga Chad out of it. It's probably worth summoning turn 1 if you can summon it. Just negate, then go into this thing. That's pretty insane. Can you activate both effects of the skill? Nope. Oh. Actually, probably can. If you didn't use it the first time, yeah. Yeah, you can. They're once per duel, but you can use both on the same turn, I imagine. Because there's no, like, I don't see any limit on that. Alright, well that's basically it for this review, chat. What do you guys reckon? What's the thoughts? I'm thinking these Stardust and the Synchron stuff all seems really goddamn good. Whether it be you're playing Red Dragon Archfiend or you're playing Synchron, all this seems fantastic. The Pendulum stuff seems like it's definitely playable, 100% playable. Just having a searchable pop trap already makes it pretty decent and has a monster pop on it. Timelord, I don't know about that one. I have a very specific Timelord deck I'm going to be building using a little friend over here. Now, I'll see how well it works. I assume it's probably going to be a meme though and suck ass, but I'll give it a shot. But other than that, that's basically it. Timelord, probably a bit of an oof. Solfachord seems pretty decent, and these two seem absolutely crazy. Why was everyone saying this box seems like shit? I'm very confused. I saw so many comments complaining about this box before I did this review, and I'm very confused about it. Do people not see this Bane stuff and get excited by it? This seems hella fun. This Red Rain stuff? And if you don't want to... And the cool thing about it is it's actually kind of cheap if you just want to go for like the Red Dragon Archfiend stuff, because you only realistically need one of this for the skill. And then you just grab the Synchro card, so one rotation of the mini box, and you already have all this new stuff for your Red Dragon Archfiend. You don't care about Synchros or pens? I mean, I can understand not caring about pens, but Synchros? I mean, Synchros, in my opinion, are like pretty low tier in my list of stuff. I like generally... Yeah, they're pretty low on my list of things, actually. It's in list of summoning mechanics, they're nearly even last, even. Stuff I enjoy generally, but I quite like playing RDA. It's pretty fun. Like, I'm not necessarily saying this box is going to be top tier or anything, but it doesn't seem bad at all. It seems pretty good. This card alone should get a lot of people excited too. This card's going to be pretty sick. Could play it in TG, although I don't know why you'd bother playing it in TG, since TG can already do this anyway. Alright, well, we'll see how this turns out on release. It's all looking pretty dope. But chat, that's going to do it for today's little review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, remember to hit that subscribe button, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, go watch my go watch my video, alright? Need some views. It's still saved. Oh, there it is. Go watch my Akashi video. Look at this. Wow, look at this handsome fellow over here. Holy, you guys should all be watching this video right now. Oh god, that is not many views for that many minutes. This video is dead on release. That's not good. Either way. Instant depression. Alright boys, it's going to do it for the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you on whenever this stuff gets released for a pack opening, I imagine. It's probably dead because we're all here. Yeah, all here watching this stream right now. Anyway, that's going to do it for the stream. Thank you all for watching. Live stream pack opening whenever this stuff releases in like 24 hours or some shit, I think.